The Niners are one of the most slept on teams across the entire NFL. Despite reaching the NFC Championship game, a lot of people don't even have the Niners reaching the playoffs this year. And when asked why they think this, they often point at the quarterback position, saying the Niners just simply don't have a guy there. Because Brock Purdy won't be ready, even though there's been reports that he will be ready come week 1, but they also don't have faith in Trey Lance or Sam Darnold. In this video, I hope to break down why I have faith in Trey Lance and his work this offseason, including his work with Patrick Mahomes, but also he's currently working out with Josh Allen at Titan University. First, we need to examine Trey Lance's offseason up to this point and his issues prior to this offseason. Prior to this offseason, Trey Lance struggled at accuracy during times, and this was because of his mechanics. His mechanics were kind of sloppy and unrefined, and everyone knew this coming out with Trey Lance because of how little he had to actually play in college. He only played 1 year and had some of the fewest pass attempts of any rookie taken in the first round ever. To further hinder Trey Lance's development, he broke his finger his rookie year. This led to him not being able to refine his mechanics and probably led to them slipping even worse. However, this offseason, it looks like things have changed for Trey Lance because according to him, his finger was finally healed and he linked up with Patrick Mahomes and his throwing coach to work on his mechanics and get everything right coming off his ankle injury. It took the QB coach, Jeff Christensen, 2 days to find exactly what Trey Lance needed to refine in his throwing motion. He then worked with Patrick Mahomes and Trey Lance at the same time. So when Trey Lance was working on the topic, he could point at Patrick Mahomes and say, look, this is what I want you to do. And Patrick Mahomes would go out there and display exactly what Jeff Christensen wanted. So Trey Lance had that visual buy-in and mental buy-in of understanding this is the top QB in the game. And even Jeff Christensen said how beneficial it was for Trey Lance to actually work with Patrick Mahomes. Christensen also had some other interesting things to say about Lance, such as how he thinks Lance will do phenomenal things in Kyle Shanahan's offense and how he's further along than he anticipated. After his work with Christensen, Lance made sure all this talk wasn't just talk and impressed Kyle Shanahan, who said Lance looks the best he's ever looked. Thanks to his new compacted throwing motion, his cleaned up lower body, everything looks much better for Lance headed forward. During his time at OTAs and mandatory minicamp, we saw Lance that looked different than any type of Trey Lance we've seen on the field prior. He was able to connect on the underneath and easy stuff readily. He also connected on bombs down the field, showing he hasn't lost his ability to connect deep. After mandatory minicamp, the Niners broke for a break period between mandatory minicamp and training camp. This led Trey Lance the opportunity to work out with George Kittle, and not just George Kittle, but Josh Allen at Titan University. And while to some people it may not be a huge deal that Trey Lance is working out with Josh Allen, for me personally, I think this is a great thing because this gives Trey Lance an opportunity to once again step back and see what Josh Allen is doing, what aspects of his game he can implement, and much like he did with Patrick Mahomes, he can have that visual buy-in so he can understand, oh, this is like the aspect of the game Jeff Christensen was trying to teach me about, and this is how I can apply it, and this is even one of the greatest quarterbacks currently in the league in Josh Allen applying it at Titan University. Furthermore, it gives Trey Lance the opportunity to compare himself against one of the greatest in the league. During this period, Trey Lance will also work with his throwing coach, Jeff Christensen, further refining his mechanics, getting him ready for the competition come training camp and the preseason, where we'll see live bullets flying for the first time against Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, and even maybe Brock Purdy if he's out there. So while many people don't have a lot of faith in the Niners, especially the quarterback room, I think the Niners have the opportunity to be one of the deadliest teams across the entire NFL this season. If their team's led by Brock Purdy, you get a proven quarterback who went undefeated last year. And Trey Lance this offseason looks like he's taking huge steps in his development and may finally fulfill his shoes of being the top 3 pick in the draft. Ultimately, these are just my thoughts on Trey Lance's offseason up to this point and the Niners' hopes going forward. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton if you liked and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching.